Morning. Yeah, so tonight's testimony night for our team, and Jesse is going to share first. What have you experienced?
The one that stands out to me the most recently is the one with my mother. Mom was 98 years old. At the end there, she was bedridden and she had to wear Depends diapers. And these things, now that I look and I do the research, I see how many forever chemicals are in there. But all the PSWs were saying, oh, it's normal to have diaper rash. No, it's not normal to have diaper rash. And her skin was so inflamed and so sore where the elastics come between the leg and the thing. It was raw. And she was crying and she was suffering, just like a little baby, except she was in so much pain. And Hannah suggested to me that I run the poison ivy scan. And I thought, what? Like I've tried all the rash stuff and everything else that we could do. And then it dawned on me that, yeah, when we moved into this house 20 years ago, there was poison ivy in our backyard. I'd never seen it. I'm a city girl. I had no idea what this stuff was. We were just pulling it out with our hands. Hey, Mary. And my mother was covered from her eyebrows down to her toes with the poison ivy rash. So I used my modalities, body talk, and different things to get rid of it at that time, and it seemed to be gone. Okay. But it was coming through with the diaper rash and the inflammation from the chemicals. I ran the scan, the AO scan for poison ivy for 3 days and 3 nights, and mom didn't have a rash for the months after that.
Oh,
So
wow.
it also made me wonder how much of the people who get Alzheimer's and stuff like that have the poison ivy still running in their body and therefore in their brain tissues and stuff like that. Like I don't think that's ever been looked at. And that's sort of what I focus on right now is trying to see what else is going on because it's not the plaque in the brain. She was fine and then all of a sudden she wasn't fine. But at 98 she was on no meds, so that was phenomenal. But yeah, the scanner, it works. And it's funny because most of the time I will run a scan for 2 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, and that's it on me. But for this issue in that was systemic throughout her body, we did it 3 days and 3 nights, and the rash was gone. Her
Wow.
skin was, and the rashes and things that she had in different places that weren't associated with diaper rash, they were gone too.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
it's really
amazing.
fascinating. So
That
that's my testimonial for tonight. But I have 100 more if you want those.
I know. I want to hear this too. And I mean, how about we just rotate around the room a little bit and then I want to hear more as well as I'm also reminded of like even how frequencies helped your mom transition was big as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, Mary, welcome. Glad you're here. We're just sharing your experience with the AO scan, where you were before, maybe pain points, where what you did specifically with the AO scan, and then after, like results or the transformation. Do does anybody else have one before? Because I do want to capture all yours, Jesse. But do you guys have one?
Mary's got to have some horse stories, don't you? She's an osteopath, but she's an osteopath for horses and animals too.
Um, I use them on my horses quite a bit. Even when I'm treating, sometimes I'll be able to kind of either pinpoint where, the exact area is that needs treatment, or if I haven't been able to get out to see a horse because they're just too far away, then I'll just offer to run the scans. And I've had yeah, I think it was the one person where the swelling decreased for their horse because they'd just been, recently injured, and so that was kind of cool. I've helped both with my horses with colic, and there again, it was a snowstorm. I couldn't get to them, and so yeah, I just ran frequencies for colic and indigestion, stuff like that. And yeah, it was able to get them through that. And I sneakily send frequencies to my husband when he has like a headache or stomach ache. And he's like, I don't know what happened, but suddenly it disappeared. I'm like, uh-huh.
Right? That's awesome. So good. Yeah, so it really helps your practice. Like when you can't get to the animals or even in between like sessions and stuff with you or
Yeah, I'm starting to offer it as a in between appointments because yeah, when I treat the horses, I usually only treat them once a month. And so to have something that's, can support them in between, and it's, yeah, really powerful. I've been using them on, I got one dog that's suffering from seizures. And so I'm trying to help him or just, try to figure it out. I think it's vaccine related. But yeah, at least be able to support with frequencies.
that's awesome. Awesome. And I'm just curious, have you tried the sound therapy for animals? Have you started using that?
I did for who's done it religiously. I had one client who had recently got a couple of rescues from the States, and they came with a lot more problems than what she was anticipating. So both had digestive issues and parasites. Is it whatever that Gardiardia?
Guardian.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Um, and one was like super, super anxious. So I was just like, you know what? Let me run a vitals and, run the um, inner voice for them or the music for them. And she said within about 10 minutes, the one dog who's just like pacing around and around actually went over by a wall and just laid down and slept for the rest of the night. And then the other dog as well also seemed to calm down. So that was kind of like, I have no idea if this is going to work because it was, new to the scanner was new to me. But yeah, I was surprised that, because I was like, okay, a little bit skeptical. Does it really work? Yep.
Yeah, just gotta try it. That's so
Yeah.
awesome. So awesome. And it's funny how it almost come like as an inspiration sometimes, like, oh, I haven't done this for that. And then, okay, let's try it from this angle or try maybe it's a scan and optimization, but maybe it's Cepheid frequencies, you know? That's so cool. I love hearing this. And please, as we're just bouncing around the room, if you think of another one, I'd love to hear that as well. Um, so good. And I started to see Diana, you are unmuting yourself. What?
Oh, for me, I noticed when I started using it last June and listening to the music, within that month, I've noticed that I'm like, oh, I didn't know I had trapped emotions, but I'm getting to be an emotional person. And I think I was just shut off with emotions before, so it's really changed.
Wow. Yeah. So
And it was interesting. My dad died almost 2 years ago, and I don't think I really grieved him. And ever so often, like this summer, things would come up. And I was sitting in Chipotle one day thinking, oh, I wish my dad was here to help me make a decision on a purchase. And all of a sudden I had a couple of tears rolling down my face. And I was like, oh, things are coming out.
Wow.
So it's been nice to have things come out.
Yes. Isn't that funny? And it's almost not, instead of like hemorrhaging, like, emotion isn't always when it's coming out, it doesn't have to be a total meltdown.
Uh-huh.
It's just like your body's gently letting it go, right?
Yeah. And one time last summer, my daughter said, what was your childhood like? And I had a great childhood. Immediately I said, lonely. And I was like, it just took me by surprise that that was my immediate response. And I was like, oh, I had a great childhood, but I was alone a lot, and my parents did awesome stuff with me. But I was like, oh, emotions are coming out.
So you had started repressing them, and when we repress anything, repress everything, and you don't even know that you're in that state.
Uh-huh, right.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah, it is. That is huge. And so simple. You just listen to sound therapy, right?
Hmm.
The inner voice.
Yep.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. And inner voice was a huge thing for me too in building. confidence. I used to have so much anxiety before like leading things, and I would just get all I don't know, uncomfortable, and my body would have negative reactions before something like even leading a call. And now it's just easy. I just coast right in and like, oh, what are we doing next? Okay, here's where we're going, everybody. But it's inner voice helps so much. So what?
I keep
Oh,
turning around here because my little cat, I'm doing her vitals and everything right now because the two of them were fighting. I don't know if you could hear it. So I just ran the scan because she's the instigator. And so she ran in here. She likes to sit on the phone when I'm running her tunes and things. And I don't even have the volume up, but she was trying to figure out how to get up here on my desk so that she could, do the tune thing. It's kind of funny.
that's so sweet. So just to speak to that, you've seen changes like she loves the sound therapy for pets for
She
animals.
loves the sound therapy. And at night, like because we've had so much snow, the cats don't even walk around the house anymore. They sort of look at it, look at me, go, "What is this stuff?" And they come back in. But the little one wants to play all night. And so I will actually then run the vitals and things on her, and then I will run Cephi sedate on her, and she'll go to sleep.
That's
Just
awesome.
she's out cold.
That's so good. Sedate. Use it
Yeah.
for your pets.
I would use sedate on my mother when she would have her nightmares all the time. Like we couldn't get her to record in her voice. So for a long time, I wasn't trying to do that. I would run her vitals, I would run her comprehensive, and I would run Cephi programs. And I love the Cephis for her. But yeah, we ran sedate and she would just calm right down and she'd be able to go to sleep. And that way I could get to sleep because I was up every 2 hours with her, changing diapers and doing everything else. So I thank the scanner for my sanity most of the time. It's like Diane was saying that she didn't know she was lonely as a kid. Well, you get so into the process of dealing with stress all the time, you don't even know you're stressed because I thought I was handling it great. But I was using the scanner all the time just to keep my mood kind of calm so that I could treat my mother with respect and not lose my head while I was trying to work business and do everything else too. And I'm so glad that Julie Tribble introduced me to it. So that was in 2023 when she introduced it to me.
Mhm.
And we did that because my son was out of province and he was away at a very specific college that wouldn't let him get off campus when he was sick. And so we started running the scans on him, and the change was so fast with his health. He still doesn't believe in frequencies, but you know what? I run this thing on him every single night. Like
Yeah.
he's torn a ligament in his arm here, so I'm doing muscle rebuild. And it's so funny. On the weekend, I got too busy, and he calls me up Monday because it was his birthday anyways, and he says, "Hey, thanks. I thought my arm was all healed. I wasn't feeling any pain, and now I'm feeling pain." And I went, "Oops, I forgot."
You
So
forgot to
yeah,
keep
it's
running
oh,
it?
and I used it for when he came to visit. He was snoring. He was snoring so loud that the little cat was yowling along with him, and it was driving me nuts. And I didn't even think of the voice scan. I just happened as I was scanning through the frequencies, there was snore. So I ran it. And it took about 5, 6 minutes. And then all of a sudden he wasn't snoring. And I thought, oh, good, it worked. And I turned it off and he started snoring again. So I left it running all night long. And he was
Wow.
here for a couple of days. And my daughter said, "Why didn't you run his inner voice?" And I said, "Well, I didn't think of standing at the wall or at the door trying to catch his inner voice. But I was ready the next night and he didn't snore." So it was like, you never know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's kind of cool. So I just like experimenting with it all the time. I have a group where we're doing decluttering, and we did one last year as well. And it's for when we got cabin fever in Canada, you lose your motivation to do anything. But with mom's death and the renovations and everything, I needed to have accountability to keep on track, to keep the painters coming in and the windows being replaced and all the things that we've been doing. So I wanted the power of eight for 8 of us at least to get together so that every morning we think about what's going to happen for the day, and then we run the frequencies as a whole group. And it's so fascinating because one of the girls quit smoking. That was not on her agenda. She wanted to clean up her office because she is a oh, what do you call it? She does weddings and things like that. And she wanted to get organized. But it was like we didn't even run her inner voice, but just doing the frequencies and the Cephis on what was coming up for the group, it worked on her emotions so that they were cleared, and suddenly she didn't need to smoke.
Wow.
And it's like you never know how this is going to turn out. And everybody says to me, "What Cephis are you using? What playlists are you using?" And I go, "I keep it really simple." Because the body can get really confused or really tired, and that would defeat the purpose of what we're doing. So yeah, I'll just run the affirmations and maybe what's the first one that comes in? I can't remember what it's called right now. And I always do the flowers as well. And now I've started doing the comprehensive the multicast for the people, which is kind of cool. Last year we ran into a problem of they couldn't sleep. They were so high powered on what was happening that I had to run sleep scans at night so that they could go to sleep. So it's fascinating because our mind has no clue what frequencies we're missing or what we need. And it's like, it's so easy with the scanner. We just push a button, we watch out of curiosity to see what happens, and then that's what we play. And I just love it. I absolutely love it.
Wonderful. I love it. Love it. Love it. What other I'll add one to and then we'll just keep like passing our little mic around. So when I travel and I travel a fair amount, I like to have my AO scan. I'm just logging into it right here. I like to have it on my phone, and when I mean you can use it for anything, but when I'm traveling and I go to a new hotel or new bed, I'm gonna sleep in a new place. I There's a lot of energy there from whoever's been sleeping in this space. And I have a Cephi playlist for energetic clearing and for home. I think I call it my almost a decluttering list. It's like how to reset the home and starting with energetic clearing and then adding love and gratitude and all these other positive frequencies. And I swear, if I do not run that, and I like to sit it on the bed, the intention being that we're clearing the bed, resetting the frequencies there. If I don't run it, usually I have crazy dreams or don't sleep well. And every now and then I'll test it, like, oh, I don't, you're already in bed. Oh, I don't need to get up and get the AO scan. And I'll have these rough dreams. Next night, I do it, I clear the energy, and I sleep so much better every time I do it. So it's one of those travel things that you've just got to do. As well as I like to do energetic shielding when I'm traveling from A to B through the airports or whatever. And then also immune support and all of these other things that can help even boosting confidence. Um, as you move through these spaces. And it's wonderful. Throughout the COVID season, I always had it running for frequencies that had to do with COVID, and I didn't get COVID as I traveled, which was fabulous. So, yeah. What else? What else do we have in the room that you guys would like to share? And Christine, if I see you, even though your camera's not on, so I don't know if you want to share anything tonight.
Okay. Well, as always, I enjoy listening. You would be surprised. I did fall and hit my face on the sidewalk the other day.
No.
So I have like a black eye.
Oh man. Uh-oh, you just muted.
Did I mute? Am I mute again?
No, we
Okay. I was trying to show you my black eye, but I was trying. I don't know. Anyway, and then I also slammed my hand down, so I have a fractured the little finger on one hand. That right in that area, I fractured. So I
Ow.
have some fracture. So I have to do some AO scan for that work, and then yeah,
Wow. I'm so
I know.
sorry. You did that. And yes, there's lots in the AO scan you can use to support yourself.
Yes. And then what was really nice is I've worked with Jagu before, just on a personal basis. I called her or let her know. I said, because I guess I got notice I didn't have my money in the bank to pay my bill yet. So I didn't have AO scan. So I asked Jagu, could she help me? And she did. And she had to re enter my information because she erased it once I signed up. I guess you can't have them in both places. She can't hold on to my stuff and me
Yeah,
run my own. Yeah. So I was very happy to have her resource to help me because it was on a, let me see, what day was it? It was on Sunday afternoon. So did some healing stuff, which I think helped me.
good.
Yeah. So
Good.
that's about all. Yeah. Just
Yeah,
enjoy listening to everybody, learning. Thank you.
awesome. Thanks for sharing. And I hope you feel so much better and that you
I'm
get
working.
those frequencies going for the bone fractures and cuts and lots, all the things.
Yes. Thank you.
And keep running comprehensive and the vitals so that the body, because it's like having a tsunami wave go right through your body. Everything gets jostled out of place everywhere. So yeah, run a couple of those on your spine and the nerves and things to calm down.
Mm. Yeah, those are great ideas. Awesome.
I had so I wasn't expecting it, but and it took a few times for me to kind of clue in as to what was happening. But I would, just for fun, scan my mom and do vitals and comprehensive. And then I would find out, a little while later that, she has this burst of energy and she started, clearing out closets and vacuuming the house. And for my mom, the only time she will actually um, vacuum is when guests are coming over, and she'll only do the areas that they'll be in. But sometimes she's like, well, I just had so much energy. I made some bread and then I went out and I dug up all the flower gardens, and then I vacuumed the upper level and the downstairs level. And then I saw that there were some flies in the windows. I had to clean up that. And then I saw this and I had to clean up that. And then I still had some more energy. So I did that. And I'm just like, oh, I know what's happening. You get this energy after I run a scan on you. Oh.
Because you
Awesome.
have to think about her mom. Her mom's this wiry little bird. How old is she now? She's 78 or something like that?
She's 79 yet.
79. And she gets up at dawn, takes care of the horses. She's always out and about. So that she had energy to do this other stuff too blows my mind.
Well, and it's the stuff that she hates doing. Like
Yeah.
she doesn't like cleaning. She doesn't like organizing things. And I mean, my dad's been dead for 5 years now, I guess. And yeah, it was after I'd run the scans that she was actually able to, take care of some of his stuff, like the clothes and that, and actually go through his drawers, because otherwise, like, she just was not touching it. And then I'd get home for a visit, and she's like, okay, so I was in your room and there's all this stuff. And what do you want to toss? Because I want to get rid of it. I don't want this in the house anymore. I'm like, but this was my safe spot to put all my stuff that I couldn't fit in my house. You're supposed to hold on to it. She's like, nope, it's got to go. It's got to go. I'm like, who is this person?
Yeah, she's getting
Yeah.
an energy adjustment and moving the physical things. Amazing. That's awesome. And it is that the funny thing about it, you don't know how it'll manifest sometimes. We're just supporting, like, let's just see. And then it can have these unusual positives of how it comes about. So cool.
Yeah.
So, what what else? What other ones come to mind for you all?
We should send a program out and make a playlist for people who can't do their taxes or who don't want to do their receipts or who just keep stalling and do anything else but. Because when we went to visit my son in Windsor, which was 5 hours away, my bookkeeper has moved down there as well, and she's got horses and a farm and all kinds of stuff. And Laura and I had booked a hotel to stay in Windsor because my son's place is too small. And when he found out where we were, he called right away and said, you can't go there. That's actually a refugee hotel where all the refugees are coming from Detroit and everywhere else. It's not safe for you to go down there. And I'm going, great. It's the Valentine's Day weekend. There are no other hotels available. And so I called up my friend and said, hey, you keep inviting me down there. Do you actually, because she took her great grandfather's farmhouse, put it down to the bones, used the foundation, and has rebuilt this beautiful, beautiful home. And she has a scanner too. So when she gets upset or can't work with the masons and things like that, she'll run scans on them so that they cooperate with what she wants. So that's another aside. But so we had been running the scan, my daughter and I, because we needed the world to coordinate things for us, a place to stay. And it turns out that Diana said, yeah, for sure. And she went out and she bought a bed, she bought the night tables, all that kind of stuff. So we would have a room to stay in. And it was absolutely beautiful. But it was like, because she's my bookkeeper, it was like, oh, she says, can you bring down your taxes? Well, with mom's death, I had boxes of receipts all over the place. I did not have everything nicely file foldered and ready for her to go. So I just ran, it was a determination, coordination, and focus. Or there was a threesome of something that had completion in it. And I ran that, I guess, for 3 days and 3 nights, and it actually got done. It all got done. I went down with this beautiful box that was all organized and all of my Solex receipts. And that was the interesting thing, too. I hadn't realized how much income I do make from Solex. And I am so grateful for the residual income that we have, because that allowed me to take time off from October until now, so 6 months off. But I made just in my little side hustle of Solex, I made $24,000 last year.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm kind of blown away. I'm kind of blown away.
Mhm.
So it's like I never wanted to do MLM. I have had a number of MLM products and things that I love, but this is so easy to talk to people about. It's like, I've got this new toy. You want to see it? And people
Mhm.
will say yes or no, and they'll love it immediately. I don't want anybody I have to convince or that I have to coax along. And then it's like, yeah, it's so amazing. So yeah, my taxes will be done this year. The renovations are done this year. It's all coming together. And next week we open up our own, what are we calling it? The experience station. So we have the PMF mat, we've got the hub. Unfortunately, the rain chair is on back order for 6 months. I'm so disappointed. But we've got so many of the different Solex products. We're going to have a little bar for people to drink all the different drinks and things like that and see what it's like. It's just going to be fun. It's going to be so much fun.
So cool. I love it. And it needs all of that, like the experience stations. I can't wait to see. I hope you'll take some videos for us.
Well, I was thinking you like to house sit and go check on animals and things like that. We are going to be taking my mother's ashes either this year or next year to Austria, so I will need someone to babysit my cats. I
Uh,
might invite you over for that.
so we'll just have to energetically tweak my allergy to cats.
Oh, we can do that.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
wow.
that would be a great house sitting gig to just go to someone's house who has all the toys, all
Yeah.
the Solex
Yeah, because
toys.
I can't take them to Europe with me.
Right.
Leslie, I have a question for you. You said you ran some scans on the Masons that were working. How did you do that?
You put them in like a target, like you would any family member, their name and approximate height and weight and whatever. You
Okay,
ask
so
for
you
their
don't need their
birthday.
birth date. You don't need much information about them.
You don't need so much, but it's okay to ask, hey, when's your birthday? I really hate you, but or you're ripping me off, but no, and she found herself a wonderful somebody to finish the project for her and do different things where there was a problem because the one guy was making floods in the basement constantly, and it was a nightmare for her. And I tell everybody who runs a Cephi program, always put in coordination. I used to think coordination was for our physical body, and it's a really important one, but now I look at coordination as the universe and everything aligning.
Oh,
So it
that's great
works
to
in our
know.
favor. Yeah, I put that in every single Cephi list.
I love that. May it coordinate in your favor, whether it's trying to get rid of pain or trying to move emotions on
Mhm.
or process them. It's awesome. Awesome. What else? Anything else coming to mind?
There's so many, but I have to think of what they are. They don't always come top of mind. They come out when I'm talking to a client or somebody about it. The stories come. It's like I'll have to record that.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny, it's 7:30 and I had thought that was going to be my second start time. And by the way, these are what as we're sharing, it's like we're going to edit these videos down so that we have little minis. So these are things you could share with other people. Um,
Oh, I do have another one.
mhm.
Last, not Christmas 2023, I had an abscess where I didn't even have a tooth. And when I went to the dentist, he said, "Oh, we're going to have to do a root canal." And I'm going, "Well, I think I don't have a tooth there because I originally did a root canal, 20 years ago." And he said, because it was Christmas break coming up, he said, "Well, our office is going to be closed for 2 weeks, so we'll book you in for the second week in January." And I'm going, "Okay, great." I don't want a root canal. I'll do anything else. And I started running there is an abscess frequency and frequencies. So I started running that quite a bit. And I'm just realizing when I have something important like that, I will run frequencies all day and all night. And I didn't think I did. I like usually short things, but yeah, for something like that, I also used the blue and rinsed my mouth with blue constantly. The abscess was gone in about 3 days. I was fine during the whole break. I went to see him in January for that appointment so he could try and talk me into the root canal, and there was no abscess, no, the x-rays and everything showed it was all clear.
Wow.
So
Wow.
the frequencies do work.
Yes, absolutely. And then with the blue, did you dilute it with water or just?
I always put the blue in water. I cannot do 10 drops and I cannot do it full strength. I put it in a glass of water. I also read that if you put it in vitamin C, it actually metabolizes in a different way and goes straight into the brain. So it elevates. I'll send you the recording, of the article that I saw. So yeah, it metabolizes in the brain. So it lifts your mood and it clears out. It's not ATP it makes. I'll have to look it up. I don't know all the chemical stuff, but it does something extra to it so that it's more easily absorbed into the body.
Very cool.
Hmm.
Yeah. So like orange juice and blue is a great combo.
Hmm.
Oh, amazing. Amazing. And it's funny, we haven't even gotten started on all the other technologies. So let's touch on the hub because this is amazing. And mine's just across the room here. Um, yeah, at least for me, with my experience with the hub, one, I didn't know. Like with so many of these technologies, you're like, I don't know, let's just try, let's see. And I was dealing with some emotionally really challenging things, but I had already started my hub sessions. And there were things that normally would be triggers that I like auto respond, reactionary. And I just was able to witness what's happening instead of stay in that reaction space. And I kept seeing that through different situations. I'm like, this is different since I've been doing the hub. It was also helping me to process old emotions, to create more peace and balance and deal with what's in front of me without still being triggered by old stuff. So it's
When
great.
we got the hub, I didn't know what it was going to do. And it talks about Parkinson's and MS, and it talks about drug addictions and all these different things that are so intense. And I'm going, I don't need any of that. But there was just relax or rest and relax or something like that. And I was using that and I found I just loved it. And it gave me more, and it was like the energy that had been blocked by stress was just released. Laura, my daughter, who I tease about, sorry, my cat wants in. I tease her about being OCD because she likes things exact. So she started running the OCD scans and she had such huge relaxations. It actually took her headaches away. And I found that she was more relaxed and things didn't have to be as exacting as they were. So she did it for 28 days and absolutely loved it. Because we've been taking the trips to Windsor and different places like that, we sort of got out of the habit, but we're starting again. And oh, the other thing she was doing, I guess before Christmas, she has terrible, terrible cramps for her periods and stuff like that, literally to the point that she's vomiting and lying on the bathroom floor, suffering. And we've gone through osteopathy, massage, traditional Chinese medicine, everything to get this organized, and nothing's been working. One day when she had these terrible period pains, I said, "Why don't you go in the hub and see if it does something?" So she did the hormone balancing, and within about 5 minutes, it took the cramping away. So she's been running that for the hormonal balancing as well. Oh, there's another thing I use on the hub. It is the weight loss section. And because I've tried different things, like the menopausal weight hit me at 60, and now that I'm 70, I was starting to look like a refrigerator, just no curves. And I got to stand up for this one. I don't know. It's like I have lost nearly 20 pounds, and I've got
Awesome.
my tiny waist back, and my legs are slim and firm.
Oh,
And it's like, holy cow. I don't know what it's doing, but I know it's giving me a lot more energy. And I'm really, really happy that I'm getting my figure back because I don't know why the hormones did what they did anyways, right? So it's kind of interesting. And the other thing I have found too is I have absolutely no cravings for sugar. I don't even like the taste of sugar. My nose goes up right away. And it's like the hub has done something. So I don't know if it's taking care of parasites and stuff that I didn't know I had because there's no parasite setting. But yeah, when we open our doors next week at the clinic, I have a number of people with MS and stuff, and I'm inviting them in for free to see what it does.
awesome.
That's yeah, I wanted to I don't know how to explain it to people.
Yeah.
I don't know I don't even know what I want to say here. I opened the door for a couple of people who have Solex. One found it too intense and it was on low settings with the eyes and things like this. Mary was on it. She wants to come back. I made her wait. But it's like it clears something. And I don't know if it clears the old stories or the I can't nonsense that we were, programmed with as children. It does something. So yeah, I really want it to work on my eyesight to make my eyesight better so that when I look at the computer screen, you're not all blurry.
Yeah. Side note, one of my close friends started imprinting her glasses with the frequencies for all, the specific eye frequencies that you
Mhm.
need to support your eyes. She would imprint her glasses every day, and over time, her prescription
Got
got
less and
like
less.
her eyes changed and improved.
Wow. Interesting.
And,
Very interesting.
yeah, and this is why we have these conversations because you've had this for a long time,
Mhm.
and there's little things that we wouldn't even think, oh, I'm wearing this every day. I could be
Could be
imprinting
imprinting
this.
it. Didn't occur to me.
Yeah, one more idea. And I saw Mary unmute. I wasn't sure if Mary, maybe did you have something else you wanted to share? I want to capture it if you're still available.
She's having dinner. I can
Oh,
tell.
yeah. Um, no, I think it was in terms of, well, yeah, I do have something about the hub, but with the methylene blue, because I'm finding that, like, I'm trying to find either how many drops I can take and how many I can take in a week because my mouth automatically blisters.
Whoa.
And so, like, I've tried just doing like 2 drops in like a big thing of water. Um, Although I haven't done that just like once. That was after I think like a third day. It's like, okay, well, I'll put it in a whole bunch of water. And it's just like every single time, yeah, my mouth just gets, tongue goes white. Yeah, skin starts sloughing off in my mouth.
I
And
wonder if it's killing a bacteria or a staph or a strep or something that you may be having. Very interesting.
yeah,
Because usually people will use it when they go through chemo and their mouth blisters from the chemo and everything. They use the blue and it soothes it right away. So there's something going on there.
something going on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, when I had the one hub session and it was in conjunction with laying on the penf mat, and it was the most blissful, amazing
Mm.
feeling. Um, like it was just so like the trying to think, there was something about like so definitely the tones were very soothing. It was almost it was near the end, and with the colors, it's almost like the colors were starting to talk. And I've never had that experience before. And it almost reminded me of like a slightly psychedelic experience where it was just in that near the end where things are just kind of integrating and soothing. So it was just so amazing. And then like something shifted within my thought process where it just seemed things were just easier to do. Um, and surprisingly, my tailbone hurt like heck for probably 4 days. So I had fractured my tailbone when I was, I don't know, 9 or 10. So that was interesting to re-experience that discomfort. And yeah, almost like a full body soreness. And then since then, like the tailbone has been fine. But yeah, that different thought process probably lasted a good 2 weeks. And so I'm just like, I don't know what the heck that was, but I want more of that
Yeah.
because it was just so, it felt like uh, coming back home.
Wow.
Like that, just that knowing the inner essence of, like I'm just getting actually goosebumps now. Like the essence of the true vibration of who we are, like just being able to experience the vibration both from a sound and a light frequency. And it was just like, oh, that's what it's supposed to be like. So
I think we had you on gamma waves when you were here, didn't we? What was the settings we put on for you? Okay, we'll have to experiment. Bring me flowers, I'll let you come in.
Love it. I love it. And we
I have a
just
question.
have to,
I have a question for Mary. You said you did the PEMF mat and what?
The hub.
the hub.
Oh, okay. I know nothing about the hub.
yeah, the hub, the two together make for a great combination. I don't know if I can like twist this over a little bit without everything falling off. But like there's my PEMF mat, and then I do have, it's fine, I have the lasers as well. There's a lot for us to work with. And then the hub just sits right next to it. The combination of the two is kind of next level. I want to call the mat is like my magic carpet.
Oh, that's cute.
Is there a way to find people in my area, like in the Denver area, that have these things?
That's a
Is
good
there a
question.
directory with Solex people?
I would put that as a post
Team
uh,
Taurus.
in Team Tours, but to access like even more people, the Solex Facebook group.
Okay, I did ask that last summer, so I didn't know if they're, so I'll go search that again.
Or
Okay.
just ask again. Just
Okay,
ask again and let's see who answers you. Yeah.
okay. Well, it would be neat if there were, if people would start a directory within it
Yeah.
of where the location is and what equipment they have.
That's actually a really good idea. We can
Mhm.
do that in one of the guides. That would be cool.
Eh, eh,
Mary, you going to come to our DoD day and March the 7th and the 8th, that Saturday, Friday, Saturday?
If I'm not working, yes.
Okay, because we'll be bringing all the toys with us there.
Where is that at?
It's here in Barrie in Canada. It's a bit
Oh,
of a
okay.
drive for you. Yeah.
Yeah. And hey, there is room for one more if you wanted to pop over to Nashville, um, Diana, because I am hosting an in-person event for, it's actually 3 days.
When
Uh,
is it?
it's March 6th through the 9th.
Oh, those don't work for me.
Yeah. Another time.
Hey, that sounds
Big,
fun.
the major experience station is always in September in Salt Lake City.
Okay.
And we will keep putting that on. We'll put it on your calendars because it's just so special. And to be around other like-hearted, 95% are women as well. And it's so special. So yeah, think
It's
about
a good community of people, like really, really good community of people. They're also caring, they're also sharing. Yeah, there's really, other MLMs, there's competition, oh, that's my person or that, and there's none of that with what we're doing in Solex. It's just we want the whole world to come under our umbrella and see the light and hear the frequencies and just learn. Yeah.
It's true.
And that's what I noticed because I would post questions and I started following Steve Bozen. I don't know if you know him. But so
Oh,
he took me
yeah.
under his wing and he wasn't who I originally signed up under.
He's a really smart man. Like,
He is,
yeah, I follow him as well. He's really cool.
and he's not a practitioner in the past, so he's just started doing this because I don't know how he caught on to it, but then he just started having guinea pigs and before he started charging.
Mhm. So cool. And and you might want to consider also being the first in your area to have the infinity mat and the and the hub. And it's funny, if I had to choose out of all of our technologies, those things, I think I'd choose the hub number one. And then the second one I would choose the mat because they work so well together. The three, like the AO scan, the hub, and the mat. But it's worth experiencing. And then there's going to be even more. This is the only challenge with our company is that with each that they're so innovative. So they come out with more technology every time in March and in
Yeah,
September.
it's like, stop. I haven't learned all this yet.
Yeah, exactly. You'll see more upgrades, more tech. But what's super fun is you don't have to get any other things and have the AO scan, and you're gonna get upgrades, and you're gonna get. You guys have already experienced it since you've been here. It just happens automatically. So grateful for that. Anything else? Any other testimonies that have come to mind? You guys.
Yeah, when I opened up phase 2 and 3, I wanted to check out and see what the dental was. It was just curiosity, really. And it was so funny because I had worked on the abscess and everything else with just the phase 1. But in the TMJ, I wanted to see what it was, and it works on all the muscles and everything in this area here. And I had had whiplash when I was 21, and then another whiplash when I was 31, another one when I was 41. So my neck would literally take me out sometimes. When I did too much or whatever, or my body just said shut down, it would always be my neck, and I wouldn't be able to move, and I'd be lying on ice and whatever. And running that TMJ scan, because I don't have TMJ. I think of it being here, but it worked on all the muscles through here. And it was like for a week, every morning when I got out of bed, I would run that, stand in the shower, and it's like I haven't had issues since.
Wow, that's
It's
awesome.
phenomenal. Yeah, really phenomenal.
Awesome.
The one thing I haven't been able to help people with is the tinnitus, because there's so many different reasons for that. And it's like there's got to be some little scan in here that I haven't figured out yet to help some people with the tinnitus because so many people have it now. And I'm pretty sure it's all the electrical wiring. Like, I mean, it's the first time we've had electricity everywhere in our house and everywhere outside and that we carry our phones on us. But it's like, yeah, tinnitus, thank God I don't have it. I can't imagine that it's fun.
Yeah, and I have it, and I do wonder, like chemical imbalances, t toxic overload. Um, there's so many things that it could be, but that's why, like we're doing, and that's why again I love our community. We don't just stop at the AO scan. We're looking at diet. We're looking at the whole holistically. How do we support our health? Just a reminder, like when you guys get breakthroughs on just about anything, please share it with the whole group or post about that.
But it becomes our new normal and we forget.
I know. I just hit the button, it's gone, I'm on my way. Right?
It's like, too, I was thinking the other day, it's like somebody said, oh, they're addicted to the AO stand. I said, you can't be addicted to it. But how healthy do you want to be? Like, really? It's just become curious. How healthy can we be? I'm 70 years old and I feel healthier than I did when I was 35. Like, how much better than this can it get? Well, let's find out.
Yeah.
So it's really very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, just keep going. Keep going. I
Mhm.
love it. I love hearing all these amazing words. Anything else that you guys wanted to add before we wrap up?
Are you going to do this every month?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Well, I'll think
Because
of some more stories by then.
exactly, we'll have more stories and then we'll bring more people as well because it's each person's unique. Like the mom with 10 kids needs to hear from the mom with 10
Mm,
kids, you know, and all those things are relevant when we come to these calls. There's something to consider is that like your unique place, your age, all those things are going to speak to somebody uniquely as you show up and share
yeah.
so that we can help get the word out with just another touch of the button of copy paste a YouTube link and hey, so and so was dealing with TMJ or neck pain, but they discovered a solution, you know, and now we can just share the videos. So thank you so much for being here. And thank you for being explorers with frequencies. And let's just continue to keep this conversation going so we can share with more people.
Okay.
Grateful
Thank you
for
for letting me
you.
join, and thank you for the invite, Jesse.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay. Bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.